Hello guys, welcome to my channel. Today in this video I'm gonna make a review about this equipment that you guys see right here. They call it heat press machine. So what it does, the heat press machine it's a machine that you can use just to print picture, t-shirt, and you can use it to print something on the mug, something on inside of a plate, and on a hat, and on a cup. So let me first talk about this machine. This machine comes from a company they call Dream Van. So this is the one who this machine comes from. Okay, right here it's a combo heat press machine. The size of it is 12 by 15. That's mean you have a 12 by 15. I don't have a tape measure with me so that I can just make the measurement just to show you how it is. So with only this machine, this is a 8 in 1. That's mean when they say 8 in 1, this machine you can do 8 things with that only machine that you guys see right here. So let me talk about everything that's it's come when I say 8 in 1, and then after I finish to talk about everything separate, and we can go from there, from talking about and show you how you can use it. But today's video, it's only I'm talking about it's the review about this machine. So right here, this is the plate just to print t-shirt. This machine comes with those two heat those with those two material on the bottom of it. This is the one that's hold, so that you can just hit the heat press machine. This is where you're gonna, this one come on the bottom of that like this. This is the one that you put the t-shirt, and then after you finish to set up your time over here, and then you press this down like that with the exact temperature. As soon as you do this, and then right here you're gonna press this button down, so that the second that you put over here for whatever what you're doing, or if you're doing a cup, if you're doing a t-shirt, or if you're doing a mug, or if you're doing a hat or a plate, each of them has a set temperature that you have to put on the machine, and each of them has a certain second that you have to put. I know for a fact the mug, they said at least that's depending of the mug you're using ceramic coat, or at least you should have, for this machine you should have at least 3 minutes plus. That's what I read from this machine. So okay, this is how you do it, and then when you see the second finish over here, it's gonna beeping. When it's beeping, that's mean it's ready. Only one thing that you can do, you have to just like come over here, and you pull that up, and you move it away, and then you just release your t-shirt. Specifically for this machine, guys, it's a 360 degree. That's mean you can turn it in both ways. So guys, this machine is a 360 degree. When I say 360 degree, that's mean when you finish to do your work, I know right here they put a paper right here just to, it's like a caution just said hot surface. That means this surface is gonna be really hot when you're doing, when you get like 415 degrees Fahrenheit. It's gonna be really hot. Don't forget, guys, don't touch this area you guys see right here. Now I can touch it because it's not connected to the power. It's just a review I'm just making about it. So when you say it's 360 degrees, like right here, you can turn it from the back, from both sides, like this. If you walk in, you just turn it like that, all the way back. You see, you guys can see the back of it. That's me now. You can just put your, you can just put your everything that you put in, like a t-shirt or a shopping bag. You can put it over there, and after that you just turn it the other side, just to go to put the certain the time, just to set up the time and the temperature that you want to do the press. Okay guys, right here in the back for this particular machine, you can see right here, this is where your power button is gonna be. This is the power that's come from your electricity in your house. This one is the code for the heat press, the head is heat press. Because this machine, it's it's really different. It's not like the other machine. Some of them, like this specific heat element, like right here, this code, the heat element is not connected in the back. Most of them, they connect in the front or they connect in the side. So I don't know, for some reason Dream Van do his thing in a different way. So as you guys can see right here now, this code is for the t-shirt press itself. That's why in this machine you have to be careful, because even if you're doing something else, like let's say you're doing a cup, you're doing a mug, you're doing a hat, as soon as you turn that system on, if this cable is still connected to the whole system, is gonna still hot, because this is where he get his power over here. So the other thing I want to mention about it, this is your power right here. Okay, this button, if you wanted to set it in a certain time that you want to move it, you see, like right here now, I just screw that down like this, it stop, and when you want to release it, you just do it like that. So that's what this have as feature. For this machine, you cannot pull it up, but some of them you can pull it up. Let me try to do this. Okay, this is the pressure, this is the pressure release, this is the pressure release button. Okay, this does depend on the pressure that you're gonna push. So like right here, you guys can see, when I unscrew this, the machine is coming up. You see, the machine is coming up. That means if I turn it right here in the front like that, when I turn it like this, you guys can see now, when I set it up like this, you guys can see now I don't have a lot of pressure on the t-shirt. You guys can see the machine is taller, but the thing is, you see, it's easy for me just to do the movement. You see, like right here, because it doesn't have a lot of pressure on it. Sometimes some material that you work in need a lot of pressure. You have to check that too, and some of them doesn't need a lot of pressure. So like I always do, I always set it up in the level. Let me turn it again where you guys see this mark over there. This is where I usually set it up, like right here. If I wanted to go right here, I'm just gonna screw it down like this. As soon as I turn it down, you guys can see. You guys can see. When I turn it down now, right here, I have less space just to connect. You see, if I do this right here now, and I set it down now, as soon as I do this, you see, I already get enough pressure Now it's really safe and tight. The t-shirt not gonna move. So we have this cable this cable used for this machine as a switch. What is those? You see right here now. So when I pull that up, it's touched over here. It's identify the machine that the head is up. So when I pull it down, as soon as this cable is the two connector that's gonna connect over here on the first one on the top that has the two connector. He has a dent. You have to make sure you turn it around until it's get to the dent. It's gonna get through. Now when it's connected right here like that, you screw it down. So as soon as I set up my temperature in Celsius or Fahrenheit, and then I put my work time. That's depending. If I'm doing a t-shirt, at least 45 seconds. I set up the 45 seconds. How you set it up? When you turn on the machine, you press set. It's gonna go to the Fahrenheit, and then you press it until you get to the degree that you want. For a t-shirt, I'm thinking about like 385 to 4 410. I always put it on 410 or 400. You said 415. I always put on 410. And then when I put set, it's set. When you come over here for the work time, you press. It's when you finish to press for the temperature, you press the set. It's set. It goes down to the second one for the work time. You just use those. You use those key just to plus and minus time or temperature. Right here, when you get to the right temperature, you press set again. Okay, when you're done pressing set, let's say you just move it. You move the press away, and then you finish to prepare your t-shirt. You make sure it's straight, and then you prepare your picture. When you prepare the picture, you put the t-shirt first, and then I always use a paper that specifically for heat that can support heat inside of the t-shirt, just in case if your t-shirt is too thin, you can see you put something, and then by the time the press machine the way it is, it just the picture put on the surface where you put it, but in the bottom it's appear again. You don't want that to be happen. That's why I always use a paper that can that can that can hold the heat, so that what I'm printing doesn't appear in the bottom of the t-shirt. So when you finish to do that, you put your t-shirt, and we use that tape. This is a heat tape. This tape can support the heat. You just take the side of it, and you make sure your t-shirt is really straight. So when I'm printing, guys, I'm gonna show you how I do that and how the process is. It's not difficult. At the same time, it's not easy. It requires a lot of patience, and when you're doing those things, it asks you just to be comfortable with yourself. Don't be stressed out. Don't be in a rush. When you're doing this, you have to take your time. It requires a lot of patience in order just to make a t-shirt. I can tell you guys. Okay, when you're done with putting your t-shirt, and then you have this cable connected in the back. If you have this type of machine, Dream Van, and then that switch connected, when you turn the screen, first you have to make sure you watch over here on the screen. You're gonna see your temperature, write it down over here, and your time. That's gonna be in second. The time is in second in this machine. But if you want, you put it in second in this machine, and then you put your 45 second, and then now as soon as you make it the head straight, you're gonna pull the press down to the t-shirt like this, and you press it like that, and then now as soon as you pull it down, it's not touching this over here. If either you press that, just start it, or it's the machine gonna start by itself, and then you wait when the time is counting. It's get to 0. and then you pull that up. And don't forget this, when you pull that up, don't touch those area over here. This really hard. This is where the press machine is attached. You have to make sure you wear your glove, because you have a heat glove that they send in the box. Or if they don't do that, you buy one, and then you move that away, you turn it sideways, and then now you pull the t-shirt and you put it somewhere, let it sit. You put it somewhere, and now by the time you put it somewhere with your gloves, and then you start to pull out the paper, very careful, easily, little by little, until you finish with everything. Just to make sure you don't create a mess. Sometimes when it's too hot, the paper might be, if you didn't set to the right time, the right temperature, and the right second, you can have something like this where you have some of your image pull out. It's not really sublimate to the t-shirt, so you have to be careful with that. So okay, I'm finished with the t-shirt. When you're done, always make sure you turn off your machine. That's for this. Okay, now let's talk about the part for the cup and the mug. Okay, as you guys can see over here, so I have this machine. Okay, just to give you guys, before I go to the cup machine, let me finish about this. If you have a plate that 5 ounces or 5 inches or 6 inches, this is what you're gonna use. You're gonna use this in order to do your plate. This too has 4 connector. The 4 connector, that one has 4 connector. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna get a screwdriver, a Phillips screwdriver. They send it in some of company. They send it in the box. You're gonna get a Phillips screwdriver. You're gonna come over here, and you're gonna drip it down in those 2 holes. You unscrew those. You don't unscrew it all the way up. You just unscrew to loose it. When you loose it, you have to look inside over here. You're gonna see a tunnel where it's gonna give you direction to move the heat press in order to remove this part. After you finish to remove this part, you're gonna be able to put those plate I'm talking about. And then when you finish to unscrew those 2 over there, for this machine, if you have the same machine, you can check. So what you do, when I look over there, the direction said I pull it on me like this from this side. When I put it from this side like that, after I put it like this, and I move it from this side, and then the press gonna release. And then when it's released, you just remove it away, and then you get this. You place this in the same area. You place it the way that you get in, and then when you get in up, you get it in. The screw get in. You move it backward, and then you move it from this side. So look your direction. How your direction does depend where you're standing. How you're standing is gonna be either this way or that way. You have to look the direction over here first, and then when you finish to do it, for this, the 5 and the 6 inches gonna be the same movement to remove it and to put it back. So when you finish to do that, you set your time for your plate, you set your temperature, and then you do the same thing. You press it down. It is gonna compress, and then you're gonna leave it. You go do something else and come back. When you come back, it's gonna, you don't go fire, because you don't want fire just to get to this, because if you feel something can be can cause fire, you can just pull it back and remove the thing. You have to stay in the area where it is. When you do that, your time finished to set, and then it's get to 0. As soon as it get to 0, it's gonna be beep 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 beep. You come and you pull that up. When you pull that up, You can hold over here. You pull that up. Let's say you hold over here and you hold that. You pull that up like this. And then when you pull that up like that, you move it up and you do it backward. That means you block it. It's not gonna move down. Don't touch those areas. Even if on the plate, don't touch it. The plate doesn't have a handle to hold. That's why it's really better. As soon as you pull that up, you pull it up and you put it backwards and then you lock it over there and you move it away from this side or from that side and then you get your gloves. Don't forget, the plate gonna be hot, really hot. That's why they put this on the machine. Caution, hot surface. Hot surface, that means it's really hot. 410 degree is not something that you can play with it. It can burn you really hard. Be careful, guys. When you're doing those kind of things, practice your safety first. Make sure, don't be in a rush. Make sure you do it the proper way, the right way, and take your time. And I know what I'm talking about. Take your time, guys. Okay, when you finish to do that, you remove it for plate. That's depend of the plate that you're doing. This connector, they have the same. They have the same head. The four pin that had the four hole that has a nozzle that's gonna go from this connected at 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the one. This one on the top gonna stay connected. The reason why it's in the connected is the one that indicate the transformer whenever the heat machine press on something. As soon as it's press on something, it's gonna the circuit gonna start as soon as you do it once. Okay, guys, we're done for this. We're done for the t-shirt. We're done for the plate, 4 inches and 5 inches. Everything gonna be like this. Don't forget, for the plate and the t-shirt, you're gonna still need to use that base. You're gonna still need to use that. This base can move. It can move it can move forward. It can move backwards. So I'm gonna show you guys. In order to do it in this machine, you guys gonna look over there. There is 2 tray. You're gonna move it in your front like that. Let's say you're doing something, you wanna make sure like you see the t-shirt how it's. If you move this away like that, you want to make sure that you see the t-shirt how everything is set up. Always make sure your mat over there still sitting in his place. When you move it a little bit just to put something, you don't move it forward frontward a lot because it can fall. That's depending of the surface that you're working. It can move from the tray because it has a tray where it needs to be seated. This one doesn't screw. That's really good because sometimes it's really hard just to unscrew. For screw in order to change this one, it's really I can say it's really a good machine because it's give you a lot of flexibility. You're not gonna be able to stress too much. You can do one thing at a time. It's not gonna be a lot of problem. You remove this. I'm gonna show you guys. When you remove this like that, and then you can put it back, you do the same way. If you want to, you can just move that on the table and then put your t-shirt in the direction where it needs to be, and then you come back with it and then you put it back. As soon as the t-shirt gonna fit inside of this, you really good to go just to get a good printing. So for this, if you're gonna do the cup, no, the hat, this machine you can use it. I'm gonna show it to you guys because I'm gonna do the cup at the end. You just move this away like so. You put it somewhere on that table or somewhere else. Okay, this little plaque, this is the one for the hat. This is where your hat gonna sit. You get it and you put it inside of the tray like that where you want it to be, or you can move it backwards, because the reason you move it to this backwards is because of when you turn that place. Or to tell you guys, when you're doing the plate, when you're doing the hat, you have to make sure you go over here and you unscrew this. The reason you're gonna move it from So let's see. Okay, let's say right here you're gonna move it. Yours. Okay. There's something going on with it. Okay, that's nothing wrong. So okay, you're gonna move it backwards. The reason you're gonna move it because you want this is taller than everything. This is taller than your t-shirt first. You're gonna first remove this. You unscrew it over here, you remove it, and you put this. This is the for the t-shirt. That's the one right here. You're gonna put it inside of the screw like the same. You're gonna unscrew this a little bit and you put it back. And then those four connector is the one that's gonna connect it over here. And then in this machine, this gonna sit on the top. When you finish, you put the t-shirt over here with your picture on it, and then they're gonna sit on the top of it. When it's on the top of it, you do the same thing. You put the temperature, the time, and then you drop it down. When you drop it down, it's gonna stay. When it's time, the time is over, it's gonna give you a beep, and then you just remove it. That's the same thing. The same thing you do for the t-shirt. This and the plate is gonna be the same thing, guys. So I'm done with this. I will move it like that. I will move that.